I'm a reviewer, so let the reviews be joined. Hello once again everyone, your friend Dinobot here for another video review for you. And as you can see, we're going to look at Transformers Combiner Wars Quickslinger, or Slingshot. Which, more than likely, that's how I'm going to be referring to him in this video, so just bear with me on that. But, when Combiner Wars first come out, and we got the first wave, mostly the Aerialbots aside from Dragstrip, we got Alpha Bravo. Alpha Bravo was not the one everybody was jumping up and down about. But there was a reason for this. In the comic books at the time of IDW, they introduced Alpha Bravo as a replacement for Slingshot, being that in the comics, Slingshot had died. Basically in the storyline, the Aerialbots had left the city at the time went out into the wilderness, and while they were in the wilderness, they basically, in order for them to survive, they basically were forced to combine into Superion. So they were basically a wild Gistoff or a combiner out there. But they eventually found they brought back, and in an ensuing battle with Devastator and stuff, that they took heavy damage, and in the process they found out Slingshot had died. So they basically killed the character off, and they brought Alpha Bravo into basically be his replacement. Nothing wrong with that fact. I'm sure Hasbro had a reason for this. Probably most likely, like with them bringing him in as Quickslinger, is something to do with the namesake of Slingshot. What the story behind that is, I have no idea, and I'm not too worried about it. Because everybody's going to, even get into Quickslinger, they're still going to call him Slingshot. But let's get right into it. First off, we're going to look at what Slingshot comes with. Of course, you got Slingshot here. We're going to set him aside, and we're going to look at the rest of his accessories. He has, of course, his blaster. Very nice detail work on it as well. Very, very good use for the mold. He also has his foot hand accessory here. Very nice. It's got the basically double barrels on this one. We'll set that aside as well. We'll look at, once again, his instruction sheet, which, as I've said before, these are very, very well done. I cannot put how happy I am with the way, as you can see here in this design, of how Hasbro has brought this down to illustrate how to transform it a lot better. A lot better artwork they use, a lot more detail work into it where you can see, hey, do this to transform it. Very, very nice work on Hasbro's part in every shape of the way. But still, and the size of it also helps it a lot in my book as well. But we'll set this aside, and we'll get right into the main thing that come with it. This was actually in the back part of the packaging that you had instead of the main art. They used this instead because, unlike the Wave 2, or excuse me, the Wave 1, it didn't come with a collectible card, where these came with the comic books. And it being a Hasbro exclusive cover at that. Which I apologize, I didn't realize my camera was so low onto the design on this. We'll slide it up, there we go. The cover art, again, is a Hasbro exclusive cover. I'm not sure who does the artwork, but you got a great shot of Slingshot here. On the back of it, we have this great little bio for Slingshot, Quickslinger, as it's in here. It's basically a little rundown of Slingshot by, basically a report from Rung, which is the psychiatrist, basically for the Autobots at the time, which basically says, and I quote you this, it says Quickslinger, but I'll say Slingshot. Slingshot has always stood out from the rest of the Aerialbots. In fact, he'll happily tell you all about. As the only original Aerialbot with VTOL capabilities, which VTOL, vertical takeoff and landing. He can execute certain maneuvers and missions that his teammates simply cannot accomplish. He has incorporated his unique abilities into a signature style of aerial combat, using his engines to move suddenly and sporadically in combat, which makes him extremely difficult for his enemies to target. His twin motor cannons deliver remarkable damage, while his neutron blaster fires with pinpoint accuracy over great distances. With fellow Aerialbots formed Superion. It also quotes saying, the endless stream of hero stories and self-promotion from Slingshot has turned off many of his Autobot teammates, and his terrible taste in music pretty much took care of the rest. The bragging likely covers actual insecurity and loneliness, being a key part of the Aerialbots and is critical to his sense of self-worth. Forms either an arm or a leg of Superion, the combined form of the Aerialbots. Basically, in a nutshell, what Slingshot was, which he felt like he was an important member of the team, which basically he is, in a way. On the inside, which sadly I didn't mention this in my last video review of Air Raid, we get a little, basically, sketch and model and finished product phase of Slingshot here. Basically, really, really cool. I really liked how they did this. Even this image here, basically like a repo label sheet telling you, hey, this is where all the labels go to. It was really cool. Now, the comic itself is basically, as I said before, it's a reprint of an existing comic, which in this case was the Robots in Disguise, issue number 11, which was from... the comic itself comes out in this year. Nothing wrong with this, though. Air Raid had it a little bit later of an issue cover. I kind of wish they had done something more with this. And if they had taken all the Aerialbots, gave them all comics, and basically gave, like, say, say this was the starting issue, or even the issue, like I said, where they leave the city, have one of them be that story arc, or that comic where it shows them leaving the city, the reason why they left the city, show them their come in as combined form and whatnot on from there. Just separate issues on that. I mean, I can't remember. I don't really think Superion is even shown, or Slingshot is even shown in this issue at all. He's really not. So that's one of the bad points of that imagery. But still, it's still a pretty decent image. Good comic book, though. If you haven't read any of the IDW books of Robots in Disguise or More Than Meets the Eye, I highly recommend you do. But we'll get right into Slingshot here. We'll bring Slingshot back into focus, and as if his G1 self, he was basically a Harrier jet. Vertical landing takeoff, which he really models real well, considering even though this was a remold of Firefly or Fireflight. I think with the color scheme they used for him, they really pulled it off a lot better than Firefly did. And sadly, as we recently found out on from BotCon, or TFCon, excuse me, the reuse of the mold is going to be used again for Blastoff. But that, my opinion on that's on another matter, because I figured that was going to be like an Alpha Bravo remold little design, but still, it works with it. They go on with what they have. But again, like the other ones, you got your top view where you see it real well. Design is real well done. Detail work, the color scheme and everything. And you can still see his arms right here under the wings, but this is mostly because of the way the wings are designed. Nothing wrong with that, really. You flip it over and you see a lot of robot. I mean, the arms are very well shown here. You do have the head there as well. One thing about this is, like I said, it's a Firefly remold, and Firefly was the only other bot that has the front landing gear. It sits down flat. Now, why couldn't they, same with the Firefly mold, why didn't they just do something right here with the feet where it could like maybe flip up a little bit and have a little wheel like right there on the inside of the foot, on this end to make a full landing gear. And they could even make a small wheel, with this one, which they have. I mean, what I mean is about a usable wheel, not just a plastic wheel. I mean, they could have, but the way they design with the vents here for the engine and all is fine. Still a great mold. I mean, nothing wrong with this at all. Now, transformation. First transformation we're going to do is his leg form, as he can transform into both an arm and a leg for Superion. He's going to sit as the left arm of Superion, because that's how he was in the G1 comics. G1 period comics, cartoon, everything. But for this foot mode, nothing really to it. First thing you want to do is flip this tail fin up, make it flat. You also can either do one of two things. You can flip the tail fins on the side straight, or you can flip them like so. I kind of rather have them down because it gives it more look to it, like that. Next, you can, it's the same here with these wings. The actual instructions tell you to fold them this way, upwards. You can do that, or you can fold them straight down, which to me, that kind of does look a little bit better with it this way. As you can see, you know, it doesn't really stick out a whole lot more. You know, it gives it more of a foot peel. So that's how I'm going to have it displayed. You raise the landing gear back up. You then will fold this down and then fold it back up, and it will peg right into these little points right here on his back, which I'm not getting close enough. I apologize for that. In this area, those areas right there, you can get them a lot. You can peg them in right there, like so. That's it to it. Next, you should really, I should have done this before, but you basically pull his legs down just a hair at the knees, basically, and you'll want to also turn his head back around like you're turning it into robot form, and you rotate his torso section or area up until you got the basically the combined port right here. You then will make sure you peg this back up, which I'm not doing. There we go. There. And there's basically his leg mode. Aside from you putting his foot in, which all you do with that, you bring the piece here and you peg it into the hole right here on the bottom of his jet, and there you go. There's his foot. Not bad at all. I really, you know, you could have it like this, like I said before with the wings, but it looks a lot better like this in this form to me for his jet, for his leg mode. Though a lot of people want them to be more G1 accurate and have them this way, which to do, again, all you do is turn this around and you can have it that way if you want. And as before, you will lose the knee articulation if you want to have it like that. But it, to me, it is yes, it is G1, but it looks, to me, they look a lot better this way. Just for, that's basically how they're shown and everything. But that, enough said on that. Now we're going to go with robot form. Not much to it at all. Let's pull the foot out. We'll set that aside. And to start off, we'll just get the wings back out of the way. Fold the wings back to the way they were supposed to be in your instructions form. Next step, you will go ahead and pull the arms up. To do so, you just pull the arm out. This hinge joint here will actually pull it up, straighten it out, and there's his arm. Do the same on this side. Unpeg it, because it is pegged in right here on this little peg there into the basically almost the wrist area for him, and you'll straighten it out right there as well. And there's his arms. Next, it's easier to basically come back here to the back or in the front, either way you choose, and just basically unpeg from there and unpeg. Well, I can't see with the wings in the way. Also unpeg back here in the back, which is being a tough sucker. Probably better to go ahead and split right here, because you can split it, the tail section, and then pull it down. It's basically a huge piece right here. As you can see, the hinge, you know, it comes right out. There you go. And it basically folds out like so, and you fold it out the front as well. Straighten both, not really straighten them out, but as you pull it out, you can see the hinge, basically knee joint area here. You fold it straight up, back into the front piece, and then you bring this hinge back in and you peg it into that peg hole right there, like so. It pegs in real well. Do the same on this side. Bring it in, fold that knee, She doesn't want to fold for me. There we go. And you just peg it in, and there you go. You can also turn the fins back to give you just a little bit of heel tilt for it if you want. You stand them up, straighten them back out, straighten these wings back out. And then once again, just flip the joint here all the way around, and there we go. And here's Slingshot in his robot form. Great use, again, a great use of the mold. I really like the way Slingshot came out in this mold. Granted, it is, like I said, it's a remold of Firefly, but he's got a new head, remolded head, which as I zoom in here, I'll try to get it in as close as I can. You can see the head is going to have another use. He's going to be Blades. And Blades has been released by now. I don't have him yet, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be a Blades head. We straighten it back out, and as before, his articulation, he's got a head on a ball joint, so it can swivel all around. It can raise up to look up like so, look down to a point, but shoulders with the hinge there, and ball joint basically for in the shoulder. You can turn it all the way around. The waist has full swivel here where you can actually turn it all the way around. As you see, the legs are on a ball joint as well, though you can swivel it all the way around. It's got this kicking action basically you can do with them. He does have a little swivel right there, right below that ball joint, where you can swivel that all the way around as well. And he has the knee bit there as well, and no foot articulation at all, just a flat area. But still, it works. Now weaponry, you can give him put his weapons in his hands, of course, like so. And you can even bring in his little double-barreled gun thing, foot, whichever way you want to describe this as, and you can bring it in and give it to his other hand if you want to. Doesn't really weigh them down at all. It doesn't really weigh any of them down, but it's not too bad. And I did forget that you can peg these in to the ball or the holes here in the wings where you can have them in jet mode, or you can even just have him sit there having it on his back if you want to. Depends, it's just how you want to display them. Now, again, as I said before, he does transform into an arm as well, and to me, in G1 form, he was the left arm of Superion. To do this, it's real simple from this mode. We unpeg these weapons out. You want to go ahead and turn his head around. You can go ahead and actually push the shoulder to the joint here up into a sideways angle, like so. The arms do have a little bit of a weird deal to them. You can, the instructions say for you to swivel them around behind them, but you can swivel it up like so, and then you can work it just a little bit by turning. If you work it this way with a joint like that, and you swivel the elbow into this position, you can actually peg it into these back points back here. But not by pegging it into any peg here, but into his hand. If you watch and see, let's see if I can get it. It's not perfect, but it can peg in there slightly. See, it does work that way. So it can hold hold them arms out of the way. And we'll do the same on this side. As before, I'll try to see if I can get it better. Basically, let's do this. Put the wing down. Put the wing down so you can see a little bit better. You rotate this up, turn it around the ball joint, turn the shoulder, or the elbow around like so, and basically just, let's see if you can, yeah, it wants to. It's not a perfect fit, it's not going to basically hold it, but basically you get the idea of basically how it can sit in there. And you flip that back around, put the wings back around like so. You then which I don't think I got this. There we go. Take the legs, you peg them back together. Which I think my fin, is that what's pausing it? Nope. Let's get this right. I don't think I got it straight. There we go. Okay. Which I don't. That's what my problem is. His knee here is not all the way up right like I'm supposed to have it. There we go. Now it is. Okay. That's my fault. I didn't realize his knee was like that. We basically just reattach the legs back together. And you swivel it. Well, he's still not. Oh, come on now. There we go. Swivel it around like so until you basically have it in this position. You can have it this way if you want. It's better really to have it like this. This way you got your little bit of elbow articulation right there for his mode. We then bring his weapon here and we'll straighten this out. And as before, you just basically just flip this out. Uh-oh, come on now. There we go. There's his fingers. If it being the left hand, straighten it out, straighten that out, and you swivel this around to give it the thumb. And you just peg it in right there into that same hole as you would your foot. And there it is in his arm mode. As I said before, this is how Slingshot's going to be displayed for me in his left arm mode. You can put his weapon in there, or you can put Aerialbots or whoever's you want in there for display. Now, personally, I like this, and then there is an upgrade kit that's out for Superion by Perfect Effect. I think it's actually, there's one out for Moto Master 2 where he's got more articulated hands, or fingers, excuse me, and better feet and all. I think the hands can even fold up and become like 2 Gatling guns or something like that lines. I don't know the exact detail on that set yet. I think it's like $40 to get it though. It's still not too bad. I have seen somebody post on one of my Facebook friends in a group or something like that where he actually took the pin out here in this and then he pulled this piece out and he carefully like slit the areas between here to give him more of an articulated fingers. Now I think he did something else to that. Don't quote me on that. I'm trying to actually find that repost because he did give details on how he did it. And when I find it, I may test it out myself to try that, because it did seem a pretty nifty idea, and it's actually save you some money by all you have to do is popping that pin out and cutting the plastic in between the fingers there. But of course, he could have done something else to it. I don't know for sure, so don't try to do it yet, guys. Excuse me. But we're going to switch him back into his robot mode while I'm finishing up here. Do I recommend you picking this guy up? Yes, I do recommend it. If you're a G1er, he's definitely worth picking up for the G1 nostalgia. Where can you get him? Well, yes, you can get him in several places. I personally got mine at a great price. I actually got mine from a fellow website called Prime Toys. PrimeToys.net, actually. I keep wanting to say .com for it, but it's PrimeToys.net. You can go on there, and sadly, I think he's out of stock right now from Prime Toys, but keep checking back there. I'm sure you can get him at some point in the near future, if not at some point. So he's definitely worth picking up. But I will post a link to Prime Toys down below. And that's going to be it for this review, guys. And as always, just a few last things before I close out here. I will post, not only, if you haven't already, please like, comment, and share this video. If you haven't done so, please subscribe. If you want to, follow me on Twitter. I'll post a link to my Twitter account. Dinobot Maximize at Final Fantasy VII Rules. I also now have an Instagram account. I'll post pictures on there every Sunday showing off what I have coming out for this next month at least. What 5 reviews I want to have out that week. So be sure to check that out, that way you can see what to look forward to for that week. Also, check out, as you know, my YouTube, check out transmissions.com. Check out Prime Toys as well. Transmissions and Prime Toys also has a deal together where you can get discount for a certain code. I believe this month it's like, I can't remember what exactly it is for this month. They just recently started it, so I'm not sure. But definitely check out Transmissions. They're a group of 4 guys: Cybertronian Beast, Yoshi, Jeremy, and Big C Charles, who get together and they talk everything Transformers, comics, toys, anything you think of, they talk about it. Definitely worth checking them out. I'll definitely post a link to them as well below in the comments. So guys, this is Don saying thanks for watching, and I hope to hear from you all soon.